Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Global Resilience Exchange. My name is Daniela, and I'm so glad you joined for the July edition. Whether you're watching from across the world or right here in the US, thank you for being a part of this growing global conversation on all things resilience. Let's dive right into the first topic, which was both timely and heavy: Texas floods over the July 4th holiday weekend. Over the July 4th weekend, parts of Texas experienced catastrophic flooding, with some areas receiving more than 15 inches of rain in under 24 hours. Flash flood warnings were issued across multiple counties, and local emergency response teams were stretched thin. Several towns had to be evacuated, infrastructure was damaged, and tragically, lives were lost. I recall seeing the headline along the lines: Imagine sending your kids to camp and finding that they won't come back. This was a harsh reality and a harsh reminder that climate volatility isn't coming, it is here. And it's testing the limits of our emergency preparedness and public communication strategies. So, I want to explore a few subtopics. Firstly, a concern that came up in our discussion was warning fatigue. In areas prone to frequent alerts, people may begin to tune them out or not take them seriously. When every alert feels urgent, it becomes harder to distinguish what's truly life threatening. As resilience professionals, we have to work with emergency management, communications, and community partners to ensure alerts are clear, credible, and consistent, while also building public trust long before a disaster strikes. In certain counties, though, where there were alerts, articles have come out to say that funding wasn't allocated to provide the life saving alerts due to budget constraints. So while the alert was supposed to get to that community and never made it. And we also learned about vacancies in key positions that would have facilitated those alerts. And so I think that's going to be a key part of the after action and the lessons learned. How do we properly allocate the funds to make sure something like this doesn't happen again? We know that climate change is here, climate volatility is here, and that we need to be able to respond and alert folks so that they can, in fact, take life safety measures. Another lesson from the Texas floods and from nearly every disaster is the importance of succession planning and cross training. When key staff are unavailable during a crisis, do we have a backup? Are others trained to step into decision making roles? Or in this case, in the role to be able to issue an alert? Succession planning isn't just for leadership transition, it's a core component of operational resilience. And cross training isn't just a best practice, it's a lifeline during prolonged or complex emergencies. Could anyone who was still at those agencies been cross-trained to issue timely warnings? We don't know. It didn't happen. Now, don't get me wrong. This was a true emergency, and I don't believe for a second folks were just sitting around waiting for someone to give them tasks. But I wonder if the capability was there. Our second topic for the month centered on something that often gets overlooked: the benefits of belonging to more than one professional organization in the resilience space. Many of us are familiar with the Business Continuity Institute, Disaster Recovery International, and the Association of Continuity Professionals, ACP, but each one offers something different. I have, in fact, been a member of all three of these organizations, and I agree with a lot of the conversation that was happening is that they do offer different things while fundamentally the same. So the BCI brings a truly international perspective and an involving body of knowledge. I will say, from my experience living abroad in the Middle East, you will see more people with a BCI designation. So that's your CBCI or your MBCI or your FBCI. I see that more abroad. The DRII is known for its rigorous certification program and the emphasis on its standard. They also have a glossary, which I'm so pleased to have been invited to be on the latest iteration of the glossary committee. So they definitely are building a foundation in continuity and resilience. And I see more DRI certifications in the US and Canada. So let's say the Americas. And that's going to be your CBCP or your MBCP. They also have a path to get into the Honor Society, which is pretty cool. So if you ever get to attend any of their conferences, you'll see a part of the conference is actually that session welcoming the MBCP folks into that Honor Society. ACP offers grassroots community and local chapter networking that often becomes your support system during career transitions or operational challenges. I was a member of the Liberty Valley chapter, and it was awesome. 10 out of 10. I can't speak for all the other organizations. I do know the Orlando chapter in Florida is very active. I've spoken at one of their events before. And I just had the privilege of speaking at the Northeast Regional Conference, which is New York, Liberty Valley, Connecticut, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. And they had a full day conference, which really had an excellent range of speakers from local emergency management to travel risk in terms of what JetBlue is doing. We had some academics there, people who wrote books, and so it was quite a range and really accessible. So that's my opinion on those three organizations. And of course, this is a global community, so there are other organizations. There's a few in Canada that I've heard of, and then just across the world that come outside of the BCI, the DRI, as well as the ACP. So when you're active in more than one group, you don't just expand your network, you diversify your perspective, stay current on global and regional trends, and build connections that help you grow both personally and professionally. So the general consensus was do what's right for you. For instance, if your job description says you need a CBCP, go with the DRI. If it says you need an MBCI, go with the BCI. But if you're looking to layer on, it would be helpful to do something that's a little bit more local and international if you have the capacity or the need to do that. So, whether you're talking about natural hazards like the Texas floods or professional growth through industry engagement, one theme remains clear: resilience isn't static, it's layered, collaborative, and constantly evolving. So, I do want to take a moment to plug what the Global Resilience Exchange is all about. And it's the ability to connect resilience professionals, whether it's emergency management, continuity, risk management, ITDR, crisis management, incident management. Really, the titles of the list go on. This is a community where we can all collaborate with each other and learn from each other. The sessions that I hold, the first Thursday of the month for the continuity coffee and chat, as well as the third Wednesday of the month for the Global Resilience Exchange, are complimentary. So you can come in as long as you have some connection to resilience and just hear what's happening across the globe or participate in sharing your perspectives based on the topics that are being raised in those sessions. And those happen every month. And I've been hosting these since 2021. So I'm super proud of that and to see how this group, this community has grown. So you can find us on LinkedIn and obviously on YouTube. So thanks again for being a part of this space. I would really encourage you to subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot to keep content coming, especially at that complimentary rate. Please give this video a thumbs up if anything resonated with you. Let me know if you have any comments. Do you believe in succession planning? Do you think it's a waste of time? Is the job market so volatile that we can't keep up with the hiring? Is that more of a problem? What do you think about the ACP, the DRI, or the BCI? Or what's the local organization in your region? Let me know. I appreciate your time today, and I'm so grateful. Thank you for joining another episode of the Global Resilience Exchange Recap.